It doesn't have to be painful, it doesn't have to be stressful, it doesn't have to be that frustrating. But you have to make a decision and to want to get out of that zone. It's actually very bad. It feels so bad when you feel like you're helpless, like things are going against you, like nothing you're doing is going on well, or nothing you can do is right. It feels really bad, and nobody wants to be in that state. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking to you what is addiction to suffering, why you could be addicted to suffering, and what addiction to suffering looks like, and what you can do to stop being addicted to suffering and to stop your addiction to suffering. My name is Muthoni Mukiri. I am a personal development and mindset coach, and thank you for joining me this afternoon. So, addiction to suffering. A lot of us are addicted to suffering. And note, I did not say addicted to poverty, and I did not say addicted to pain. I said addicted to suffering. Addiction to suffering is you're addicted to victimhood, you're addicted to complaining always, you're addicted to anger, frustration, unhappiness, and fulfillment. You're addicted to suffering. Yeah, I don't know if it makes sense. And one of the reasons, the biggest influence to addiction to suffering, or one of the reasons that cause us to make us get addicted to suffering, is our childhood experiences. If you were brought up in a home that had a lot of victimhood, a lot of complaining, a lot of your parents are angry, a lot of nothing is working, a lot of serikali ilitusahau, a lot of complaining and a lot of helplessness, if you were brought up in an environment like that, chances are you could be addicted to suffering. When we're children, that's when we learn what emotions look like, what relationships are like, what is good, what is bad, what is negative, what is positive, and what is normal. So if maybe you are brought up in a very unsafe environment, or in a very an environment that's full of suffering, that's full of problems, that's full of people crying and people feeling sorry for themselves, chances are subconsciously your mind has become wired like that, and has become. So if you were brought up in an environment that was very unsafe, there was a lot of everybody crying all the time, a lot of being forgotten by the government, a lot of victimhood, a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, your subconscious records that as normal. So whatever you do in life, that is what is familiar to you. That is all you know. You're always complaining, you're always crying, you're always a victim, you're always feeling things are not working out. It's easy for you to say, mimi nakwanga nimenona, I don't know why I'm not losing weight. And when you're saying that, you're holding a burger. You get so used to sitting in the suffering and doing nothing about it. You sit there, you languish in it, you cry about it, but you don't do anything about it. Doing something about it could be getting out and getting help, taking action, or talking to the right people, or taking little steps every day to see you're getting out of your suffering. But the mentality of people who are addicted to suffering does not take them out of that suffering. So you sit there in the suffer, you cry, you become angry, you become frustrated, and you think the world owes you something. The world does not owe you anything. The world does not owe you a good life. Nobody owes you the perfect life. You have to want it for yourself, and you have to give it to yourself. So I've said number one, the biggest influence is our childhood experiences. If you were brought up in an environment where there was always suffering, where there was always, and this is something I also tell my coaching clients, if you have a habit of bad spending habits when it comes to money, chances are it started from your childhood. For example, if money used to come and the next thing there's no money, money comes, pays for Jane's school fees, and then there's no money again. Now we are eating ugali and no stew, and then again money comes and then it buys a cow, money is gone. So you subconsciously grow with those habits. And unless you realize, by the way, I have a problem, like me, you have to realize I have a problem, by the way, and I need to get help. Instead of sitting here and start saying, you know, I don't know how to manage money, I have the worst money discipline, I'm such a bad spender, I eat all my money. Instead of, it's also addiction to suffering. Why would you stay without having savings? Why would you want to work so hard for your money to spend it in handbags and perfumes, and then you even don't have an emergency fund? So a lot of our adulthood experiences are shaped by our childhood experiences. The idea is to catch yourself, is to notice them and do something about it. So instead of sitting there and thinking like the world or people owe you a good life or owe you that, how about you do something for someone who deserves it, who needs it, or who's also needs someone to help them? For example, if you always feel like I'm the victim, I'm so angry, I'm frustrated, nothing is working for me, don't have a good life, blah blah blah, how can you try doing that to someone? For example, volunteer. And this is something I really advise people. If you have the victimhood, as you're working towards getting that, volunteer somewhere, at a children's home, volunteer in church, volunteer to clean dishes for an old mama. Do something to help someone, so you stop feeling like your hands are tied or you cannot do anything. You can be a blessing to someone else, and you start feeling good about yourself. It raises your feel good hormones, and you start feeling worthy, and you start feeling like you are a good person. So if you have the victimhood, you're always complaining, you're addicted to suffering, try doing that for someone else, not someone who will repay you. And it does not. Sometimes when we say, you know, do something for someone, we just automatically think about spending our money. No, you can decide, you know what, today I want to be a blessing to people. The people I meet, I'll say hi to them. Those who look good, I will tell them, by the way, hi, you look really nice today. Or how about you decide to be something that you really want in other people? Yeah, it can start from there. Another thing is to seek help. Seek help from a therapist, from a coach. Talk to me, you guys. I have my coaching packages. I work with people who also go through the same things, because I understand firsthand what that can look like. So if you are addicted to suffering, you're always complaining things are not working for you, you complain your life is sad, you're always angry, you're crying left, right and center, you're always singing how you can never find love, how nobody is loving you, how everybody is hurting you, how every man cheats on you, and now you've accepted all men cheat and all those things. It's called addiction to suffering. It doesn't have to be painful, it doesn't have to be stressful, it doesn't have to be that frustrating. But you have to make a decision and to want to get out of that zone. It's actually very bad. It feels so bad when you feel like you're helpless, like things are going against you, like nothing you're doing is going on well, or nothing you can do is right. It feels really bad, and nobody wants to be in that state. But you can get yourself out of that state. You can. And it is your job to make your life easier. And like I keep saying, nobody will come and hand it to you like this on a silver plate. And chances are, even if someone came and give it to you like this, you will not even recognize it unless you go in there and search for it and work so hard for it. You know, that's the only way you will recognize, and that's the only way you will take it for its value, because you've worked for it. Nothing comes easy, my people. Even the good life, it doesn't come easy. I don't know why sometimes we think the world owes us a good life. You start thinking, oh, mimi nikipata kazi. Oh, how about you come up with a plan? You sit down and chora a plan, like on a piece of paper. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to have for 1 year. In 1 year, this is what I want to have in 6 months. Okay, what will that require me to do? After you've done your plan and you've looked at what to accomplish this in 1 year, what will that require me to be? What will I need to sacrifice? What will I need to do? And how do I need to change, or what do I need to improve on to be able to accomplish what I want? Another thing is self-reflection, you guys. Please always reflect on your actions. Always call yourself for a meeting. Hey, Muthoni, today, how was your day? Today my day was okay. However, I would have done this and this differently. Always call yourself for a meeting. Always, if you want to see where you want, if you want clarity in your life, you have to do self-reflection. You have to look at where you've come from. The whole of this year, this was my plan. till March, and so far this is what I've been able to accomplish. Or if you've not been able to accomplish that, you have the reasons, the factors why you were not able to, and what you can do moving forward. Please be accountable to yourself. You're the only one who knows in full what your goals are like, what your vision is like, and what your mission is like, and what that will look like, and why you're doing what you're doing, and why you want to get to where you want to go. Yeah. Self-reflection, you guys. Always ask yourself questions. Always call yourself for a meeting. Always look at, okay, I've said, and sometimes I say have a theme even for the month, or even for the first quarter, or the first 6 months of a year. Sometimes in a month I can tell myself, by this month it's about resilient. It's about not stopping at the first attempt. It's about it's about me keeping going and not stopping. Sometimes I'm like, this month is about humility. I will practice humility and I will be humble. Sometimes I'm like, this month is about kindness, and I will be kindness, and I challenge myself. I do. Always look at where you were, like in December. What were you like? What were finances like? What was your emotional state like? How is it like right now? And what can you do to change? Yeah, what do you need to do to get there or to get better? So if you're addicted to suffering, it's okay. It's not the end of life. Sometimes I say, when you know, you do better. When you have the information, you know what to do. Now that you know, what are you gonna do about it? Yeah. If you're addicted to suffering, start where you are and be kind to yourself while at it. Don't be so hard on yourself, and always remember, at some point, a lot of people you admire, and a lot of these big personalities or people who you look up to, at some point they probably were addicted to suffering, but they realized sitting there and singing about it and complaining about it does not change the situation. What changes the situation is taking action and doing something different. Like I said last time, if you keep doing what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. But if you want to get something different, you have to do something different. If you want to get better, you have to do better. If you want to date better, you also have to become a better woman or a better person. Yeah, always work on improving yourself. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. Bye.